All right, we're gonna do, I have brought Awakening Intuition Oracle deck just to see what is going on today. So give me 1 minute while I'm finding this video and getting it set up and shared out. But if you're just finding me, take a second to say hi. Go ahead and connect with the energies, especially if you're trying to get cards and things like that. That will help you to get more cards and things like that. So take a second to say hi, leave a comment. Make sure you're also sharing this video out. And just give me 1 minute while I'm hitting the share button and we'll get started. I had these cards yesterday. They were really out yesterday. They were really nice. We'll give them a go. All right, so make sure you guys are hitting that share button. And we'll get started. I'll let you guys share this out so we can get started. All right, so we have a water trine. We've had the moon in Pisces bringing a pretty chilled out vibe this weekend. But our moon in Pisces is now trying Jupiter and Cancer, bringing the best of both water worlds. So this is an amazing time for connecting with the spiritual, tapping into the spiritual. This could be through dreams, premonitions, higher insights, downloads, your intuition. And of course, we have that Cancer energy in the mix too. So this is really, really powerful for, we'll say, opening up your heart, embodying more love, more compassion, and things like that. To expect a lot of spiritual insights to be coming through. Cute little bag they came in. To be coming through this weekend, which is preparing us for all that fire energy coming at us tomorrow with our Aries full moon, which is tomorrow. Now, this is our harvest moon, which is the strongest moon of the year, arguably. And it's because it's going to be full of, even though the equinox seems a little distant, right? It is packed full of those equinox energies. The harvest moon always gets that name because it is the full moon closest to the equinox. So it's very, very supercharged by those equinox energies. And of course, this is the first of a series of super moons. It is a super harvest full moon. So this is going to be the first of the next 3 super moons that are going to take us through the rest of this year. So we have a super moon for October, November, and December, and helping us to wrap up the rest of the year. When we deal with any type of super moon energy, they always bring a super charge. So we're and we're already feeling it. We're going to be feeling this full moon a little bit extra. In a good way, though. This is like a time where we should be celebrating, a lot of good things coming back, those manifestations coming through. We're going through a lot of soul growth very, very fast, the spiritual awakening. So it can help us to illuminate the shadows as we're also going into or approaching the darker part of the year. It is helping us to see things on a deeper level and even on a subconscious level. When we deal with any moon energy, it might be highlighting shadow work, patterns, wounds, things you need to heal, blocks. Yeah, that's all part of it. So pay attention to also what it might be showing you as we move through this harvest moon kind of energy. But the reason why they call it the harvest moon, full of tons of magic, by the way, extra magical full moon. You want to be connecting and tapping into these energies for sure in whatever way works for you. But we're just going to do some cards anyways, but make sure you're checking out my website. We're doing Awakening Intuition. They're a little bit of a longer message on these cards. But make sure you've shared this out. Make sure you're also checking out my website, sparksofdivinelighthealing.com. I am an energy healer. I have a ton of healings, activations, and clearings just for you on my website. I also do psychic readings and calls and things like that. And I also teach tons of classes like Reiki and Sikhem. So if you need me, you just go ahead and book me on my website. You can do anything in my shop all of the time anyways. I always keep it really up to date, right? I have lots of nice stuff up there for right now, today, and of course for that full moon. So if you're needing me, going to be focusing on healings with this full moon for sure. That's the energy of it too. So if you're needing a healing, you can always book it on my website. I have lots of nice stuff up for this moon energy too. Okay, so make sure you guys have shared this out. If you're able to sign up and be a supporter or send PayPal donations or stars, please do. It's an awesome way you can give something back if you're getting something amazing out of this channel or whatever. Right? So awesome way you can help out with this page if you're getting something out of the content. If you're sending stars, I'm going to try to give you a psychic shout out, but you can just send them just because. All right, let's see. I see Joanne. Sorry, they're new cards. They're kind of sticking. They're long messages, but we're going to do it. Okay, Joanne. Utilize your co-creative power. Life is a dance alternating between spirit leading, external and organic forces leading, and you leading. Currently, you may have more room to maneuver, pushing your agenda forward with some fancy footwork. Utilize your intuition for more co-creative power in your everyday life. Even if you're experiencing restriction, transformation is in the air. Okay, and I love this because I always kind of compare it. It's like a little bit like you're 5 years old and you were given that brand new shiny bike, but it's got some training wheels on it, right? And it's like, okay, you might need someone to help you ride that bike a few times, but you're going to get the hang of it. That is like manifestation in a nutshell, right? With the universe has been trying to actually get us to stand or step into our power and to be able to do it on our own. It's been helping us and guiding us, the adult with the child, right? It's been helping us and guiding us through the process, but we're being guided to kind of take the wheel a little bit more and to really empower ourselves to step into our power and become more responsible for what we're creating in our everyday lives, everything that we're making out of all of this too. You're being guided to really step into your power as a co-creator and kind of seeing that you might feel like you got the wheel totally now at this point, but you're still learning. You're like the little kid on the bike, like, oh my God, I could fall off, right? I could bang my knee, whatever. But you're being guided to really, really empower yourself. Solar plexus work, but also these are great for manifestation cards. Today's a powerful manifestation portal. I did put an article up on my website talking about that this morning. We're being guided to create out of love versus fear and to really, really heal those hidden shadow, negative thoughts, internal fears so that we can bring through this higher manifestation based out of love too, in whatever way. Solar plexus work for you. Stepping into your power. Tracy May. Consider third eye eating. Feed your psychic ability. Avoid foods and drinks that make you tired, spacey, cranky, or anxious. Emphasize nutrients that energize, calm, and center your healthy eating and consumption of vitamins, minerals, and other nutrients may greatly improve the quality of your intuitive hits and expand your intuitive capabilities in general. So I love this because we're being guided to clean up our diet and to feed ourselves better foods. We don't realize this, and I don't want to go into this rant, but I usually do, that a lot of the stuff, like most of the aisles of the supermarket, everything is toxic in them. You're like, what? You should be eating out of the produce section, like the fruits and the veg and cooking it yourself. A lot of the packaged foods that are designed to like stay good for 10 years in the box, when you start to break down the ingredients, they're not really good for us. It's food-like products, but the problem is if you're stuffing yourself full of a lot of, we'll call it packaged foods and things, you're going to be full, but you're getting zero nutrients, right? They're not very healthy for us. So we want more nutrients. This is something that came up for me big time. I'm just going to put it out here in Virgo season because I got a really good vitamin test and I take a lot of vitamins, and it gave me a really good idea because everyone is different. And so I know you think you're good, right? But sometimes we might be low or deficient in certain minerals, vitamins, and things like that too. So I was getting like kind of a crash course in this, right? And I was getting to see how my vitamin regime is working, right? And so I am all for taking more herbs and vitamins and good things that we need in our everyday life. A lot of the health problems that we face actually are probably from mineral or vitamin deficiency. Don't go there, right? And like your body starts to not do good in certain areas too. So we need a lot of different vitamins and nutrients and minerals on the daily, right? And really diving deeper into that so we become what we eat. As they say, you're eating a lot of sugar, processed food, meats, things that aren't good, and throw in the alcohol, whatever it is. Yeah, you're probably going to end up not doing very well health-wise, but it also can block up our psychic abilities and gifts with the wrong stuff we're putting in our body as well too. Purification is key, literally. That's what we're working on doing. We're working on stripping away the karma and the negative energies and, you know, the negative things that we're telling ourselves. That's the mind and the body, right? And of course, to open up more with the spiritual. So actually eating a lot more like fruits, veggies, you can juice, whatever you do, right? This will change your entire energy and your entire frequency. I've been doing this a long time too, to really clean up your diet. And you're probably going to feel like, guided to maybe like if certain foods aren't good for you, you have to listen to your spirit guides on this because they're trying to guide you through this process. And, maybe you're someone that this could prevent a lot of health problems. Like your spirit guides are like, stay away from this food. And you're like, why? Right? Okay, that could have saved you from a health problem in 10 years or whatever by cleaning up your diet or doing a little bit better. But this is one way that we can actually connect more psychically and things like that too. So you see a lot of people probably eating a lot healthier, more balanced meals, or ditching the things that we just know aren't really good for us and can cause health problems or whatever it is too. You want to eat foods with a higher light content too. So we know that hopefully our fruits and veggies are being grown in the sun, right? And things like that. It can really, really heal you, and you want to kind of eat the rainbow when it comes to the chakra foods and things like that too. So we are not getting enough fruits and veggies generally. I know, go back to childhood and stuff like that. Make sure you're adding more, and it might be one or the other. Like if you're not getting enough fruit, or maybe you're eating a lot of fruit and no veggies, trying to make sure that you're eating a broader spectrum of lighter foods is going to lighten up your frequency and lighten up your energy. And I'll go another layer, and I know a lot of people don't want to hear this. We stop putting the hormones, all the stuff that's in a lot of the meat foods and things. It's not very good for us. It's full of fear and hormones and things that can put us out of balance and stuff like that too. Now, this might not be it for everyone, but the more that you do lighten up your diet, you're going to notice your entire frequency and energy changing, like in a powerful way too, because we know plants are packed full of, the superpowers. Plants can telepathy each other and do things, right? And we know that too, so we can tap into that stuff. The more you're eating lots of good fruits and veggies and things, you start to take on those other characteristics in a good way. All right, Hastings Shannon. Declutter your mind, home, or schedule. Organize and tidy your living or workspace. Quiet your mind, for light house cleaning is in your head too. Free up room in your schedule so you aren't giving away all your energy to others. Declutter your life to make space for your intuition. Less often can be more. Simplify and streamline. And I love this card too because it is about cleaning up your space, but also decluttering the mind. This is where the most important inner work is done too. When it comes to our mind and our thoughts and what we're thinking. And literally, like I always say, your mind is like the attic to your house. Like, right? Okay, I know you could look at it like a tree or a house, but it's literally like the attic of your house and things like that. And of course comes into our life. Many of you guys are being guided to let go of the material a little bit early. You can't take any of it with you. Like you're being guided to really focus on your spiritual awakening, this ascension, yourself spiritually, building your spiritual body or your light body, and to maybe some of you guys have had to let go of some material things that you didn't want to. Like if you were really attached to something materially, you might have lost it, or you might have had a shuffling around, and you're learning how to, I say spiritually detach from the material in a certain type of way and to need less. And this is powerful too, because when we need more, we consume more, we're less happy. Needing less, hopefully you're consuming less, you don't need as much stuff, maybe you don't even need anything, like, right? And you're feeling better too. Now, your space is always a reflection of your energy field, so when people are living in a lot of, can't let go of things, I see this, or, dusty space and things like that too, it's not that great for our energy, so maybe you're being guided to like spring clean some dusty corners of your house, or like just bring some new vibes and new energy into it. I like to freshen up my space every so often. But if you're trying to manifest something big, do a big project, because this has the work undertones and of course your thoughts undertones, bringing some new energy into things will really, really help you. It could be as simply as ditching some things you're not using. Now, another layer of message in this, maybe you're giving away all of your time to others and you're not really pouring into yourself the way you should be. So while you want to be here doing your lessons with others, you also are meant to be developing yourself and working on yourself. Sometimes when we stay busy with everyone else's problems and drama or whatever, or maybe we're just very enmeshed in our spiritual soul contracts or whatever it is, sometimes we're needing to also put a big focus on ourselves, and it's uncomfortable for us too. Like we're so, in our, this is like empath relationship card, or, very enmeshed with friends or family or whatever it is, you're giving away a lot of your time and energy to the outside, to the external. This could be just simply maybe you work a lot, maybe you're, a supportive friend and family member or whatever it is, but you're also, with this message, being guided to go within and not to use connections to distract you, and make sure you're spending some amount of time with your own space we talked about, but also your internal space and kind of with your thoughts and things like that too. This is like a fill your cup message. Let's do Joel Gordon. Create sanctuary spaces. Your sixth sense is operational in any space, yet certain spaces soothe your sensitive nervous system, expand your energy body, and enhance overall intuition. Tidy, aesthetically pleasing spaces with less physical stimuli like soft sounds, fabrics, and lighting create sanctuary. Incorporate nature elements like flowers, crystals, sunlight, or nature sounds, or natural incense for good vibrations. And I love that too, because our space is very, very important. And I feel we're meant to be, for some it might be like building actual temple, like, right? Or sanctuary just for yourself. You spend a lot of time in your space. It doesn't have to be anything fancy. Make sure that you're doing, I recommend doing daily saging, burning incense, lighting herbs, things to make your space a lot clearer too, will help you to feel a lot better. Sometimes, we're bringing a lot of energy into our space. Make sure that you're bringing things in there, like whether it's adding a couple of house plants, bringing some fresh cut flowers into your space, crystals, right? And kind of in that way. And it doesn't have to be anything fancy. Like I said, this is just about how you're taking care of the energy in your space to make it more sacred. And I think this is important too, because we're trying to raise our vibrational frequency. So it's important that we're also doing that with where we're living and creating a peaceful, tranquil environment that can act as a healing, I call it a healing bubble, a healing space for us as well too. Being guided to take care of the energy of your home. This will help you to tap in and connect more too. Sarah S. Retreat and recover. Feeling drained or frazzled. Being very intuitive means being very hyper receptive and picking up more on people's energy and emotions, and even physical stimuli like background noise. Retreat into a low stimulation setting so your sensitive system can recover. Find your healthy limits for stimulation and respect them. So a lot of you guys, if you are an empath, you're working on overdrive. You might be picking up on patterns and energies. Oftentimes you guys absorb them, and that's why they come into your mind later when you're processing different energies. Every time that you interact with someone, even on social media, because we're living in a time where a lot of times we sit and scroll, you're literally interacting. Okay. So when we interact with others, we're picking up on different energies, feelings, emotions. Sometimes they're not even ours. So it's important that we're learning how to clear our own energy, especially after getting overloaded. Oftentimes empaths may or may not notice those signs. Sometimes you guys just think you're exhausted, drained, and tired and don't know why, when in reality you're kind of on energy overload and need to clear your own energy of all the energies that you've been picking up. You said we're at the office for 8 hours or whatever, wherever you were, right? And you're interacting, and a lot of times you're like, well, I'm kind of avoiding everyone there, but you're there, you're in that energy. So sometimes you might be a little bit more sensitive to things that you're picking up on. And we live in a planet where it's like stimulation everywhere. Like oftentimes we don't have a lot of downtime. We're sitting scrolling. We're at work. We have the television blaring, the radio blaring everywhere, right? It's like stimulation everywhere we go. Sometimes our nervous system needs tranquility and calm to be able to heal, especially when we're healing. We're talking about healing from trauma and past traumatic experiences. Some of you guys were like, go, 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 one trauma to the next. This is CPTSD, right? Where you've had many traumatic events and it's like you just kept going. We're talking about healing the nervous system in many levels so that we can get rid of that anxiety, fear, and all of the things within us. So you're needing to be in a calm space sometimes. And this is where like sometimes empaths, like when you're around real loud noises all the time, it's like, right, it can get a bit much and things like that too, because it's like you're tuning into a lot. You might be someone who's quite psychically sensitive to what's going on around you, you might notice, or hyper attuned to your surroundings. We're going to do David Curtin. Develop healthy routines. Your mystical abilities flourish when your earthly life is orderly, practical, and predictable. Healthy daily, weekly, monthly, and seasonal routines calm your sensitive nervous system, making it easier to tune into your intuition, which healthy eating, exercising, resting, playing, spiritual relationship, and work routines you can lean into, update, or adjust to support the sixth sense. And I love this. So, and I found this with my own life. Usually the routines don't go according to plan, but you want to try to stick in a little bit of a routine. This actually helps us on a deeper subconscious level too, especially when these are healthy for us. Like when you can go ahead and you can like start to do certain habits in your day, it becomes easier and easier as you go, you notice, because of the subconscious level. I like to, side note, even keep my pets in a routine because it helps them to feel more safe and secure and kind of know what's going on, right? And so when it's very chaotic and you don't have a daily routine or anything like that, it's very unpredictable, right? And so when we start to bring healthy habits into our daily routine, it gets easier and easier as we do, right? And that's what the subconscious loves to, once again, be able to know what's going on, to predict things. Now, I love this because this is an overall balance. It's, of course, about the day-to-day healthy routines, but it's also about overall balance of fitting these areas in. It's not all work fitting in play, right? Like maybe you're kind of a little too in the routine, needing to fit in play, needing to make room for spiritual connection, needing to make room for yourself and your own healthy habits and things that you need to do day to day. You notice that a lot of times people get in a day-to-day routine, or try to. That's the ego, right? It loves to like do the same thing every single day. It doesn't matter what day of the week it is, you're going to try to fit in certain things. Hopefully, I always point out things like hopefully showering, washing your face, brushing your teeth. And these things become part of our daily habits and our routine, making up your entire reality, because oftentimes it becomes very familiar to you. We're trying to change our programming. If you can just add in a little healthy habit, add in some meditation, taking your vitamins, right? Exercise, whatever it is, and you start to fit it in there, it becomes part of that new programming that can really, really help you. So make sure that you're adding lots of healthy habits into your day-to-day thing that you do. And this is part of building our body. And I'll put this as a side note. When we come to Earth, we actually build our body. And so as you're putting this good stuff in, like meditation, I said, vitamins, eating better food, you're going to start to build a better body, by the way. Like I know we have our factory default setting of the 3D that we kind of wake up into and kind of are working on. It's going to help you with building a better spiritual body as well, too, building your light body out of this. The good things you're doing for it. Let's do Sam. Good morning. Mindfully tune in and focus. Practice tuning into an issue, opportunity, place, person, group, or option with your sixth sense. Employ gentle focus to let everything else in the mind fade in the background until what you're tuning into occupies your entire inner landscape. What intuitive hits are you knowing, seeing, hearing, or feeling? And I love this because that's how the mind works when you sit and tune into a problem, let's just say. That's the negative sense, right? If you're just going to sit there and focus on it all day, probably stressing yourself out or adding to that problem. It depends. But this can be employed for really, really good stuff. It's how I'm able to remotely connect with people, what's going on with them, what they're thinking, what they're feeling, their situation. And this is how we can remotely tap in energetically to different situations. It could be like maybe you have a friend and they're going through something and they didn't tell you a lot of stuff, but you're sitting and connecting with it and tapping into it, and all of this information is coming forth. You can kind of tell private details of their life or what they're going through, or maybe they're having a problem. And so we're able to energetically connect and tap into things, right? And this could be your path moving forward. This is why it's an amazing thing to sit and think about your path, what direction you're going in. Need some clarity, need some guidance. We can literally tune into anything. We do that a lot with our past, if you didn't notice. But we can tap into any area moving forward, and where we put our energy, we're putting our focus, and we're actually, tapping into different patterns and what's going on. And we're able to, you can do that awake, obviously, or even meditating. You can sit and meditate on a certain subject or a certain thing, and you're going to get lots of insights. You're going to get lots of clarity. And this is gifts and abilities. The more we practice with it, you'll probably get more coming through too. Let's do Tiffany Hudson. Good morning. Practice detachment. Refrain from pushing forward a specific goal or attempting to figure everything out. Ask less of life and your sixth sense to receive more now. Mentally and emotionally move away from a concern or desire. Out of the box epiphanies arrive via non-attachment. Evolution and position positive progress or in process. Accept, observe, and wait. And so we all think we're trying to practice non-attachment for the material. We're also trying to practice non-attachment for the spiritual, and we think that we've mastered this until things don't go your way. That's attachment. We may have attachment to certain situations, how they should go, what they should look like, right? How things should play out, how things should be going. And I mean, on a big level, everything around you, your life as a whole. So we like to think that we've mastered spiritual non-attachment. And when we can, keyword, surrender to the universe and allow things to play out as they're supposed to and as they should, knowing that everything is always playing out on a greater level exactly as it should go. And so when people are coming to me and saying, this isn't going the way I want, it's like, well, the universe, right? Okay, so when we can get into that state, we can learn how to surrender and trust the universe, that everything is unfolding as it should, and that as much as we like to think we're, director of everything, right? Like, okay, there's greater forces at play that are guiding us along. And so, yes, it's normal to get attached to certain things and wanting things to go a certain way, but sometimes that's the ego state of like being really disappointed. So when we're navigating from this 5D place, we learn to kind of surrender. Yeah, we want things to go a certain way, but if they don't, like kind of seeing the big picture and learning to surrender as they're unfolding, because they're probably going to go a little bit better, right? It depends. So this is kind of practicing non-attachment. Now, obviously, we're going to become attached to probably the people around us, specific situations, specific lessons, even though sometimes we can outgrow certain things. Like literally, you're not going to be learning the same lessons, we hope, your entire life. You're going to probably move on, level up, outgrow things. You might even outgrow certain connections or soul contracts or situations in your life. A lot of people are outgrowing like things like jobs and living situations or whatever it is. So it's a little bit like you're a flower and you've literally growing over the edge of your pot, and sometimes you might need transplanted into a bigger pot. Like this is sometimes we have to change our surroundings or, people around us. And usually we don't like to do that. We're humans. We crave attachment and connection. We actually have an entire system. That's what I always try to help you guys healing our attachment system, right? So we can have better connection and things like that too. So we have an entire system based on how we connect and trying to connect with others. But this is like non-attachment. Now, this doesn't mean giving up. This is more of a ego surrender of like you put it out there when you're manifesting, and you do want manifestations. When you don't have any and when your goals are done and you have no manifestations, we begin to stop dreaming and probably wilt up like the flower. We need dreams to keep us alive. It's our fuel, our goals, our manifestations, our dreams. It keeps us going, okay? So we want all of that. But when you're learning how to manifest, also staying more detached to the outcome. So you put it out there. You've told the universe, I hope you speak to the universe. I have these dreams, goals, manifestations. I'd like to see this in my life. And the universe wants you to experience everything you possibly can if you didn't notice. So you've put it out there, but also not staying. And this is when I do the work with you guys and I see sometimes some blocks. This has to go X, Y, and Z, or I'm not going to accept it. The universe has like your manifestation in a gift box wrapped up for you, and it's like trying to give it to you. And this is where the people are like, no, it's not going my way. Send the gift back. Like, right? It's like the universe has it like all wrapped up. It's like literally trying to shove it through your door or whatever, like leaving it on your doorstep. No, this person didn't come in like this. It needs to go like this. And I see this a lot of the times, not to pick with some of the work I do helping people manifest in relationships and other things. This person had to do it this way, or I'm not taking their call, and whatever. It gets very convoluted, okay? So the universe is always, I can never believe otherwise, that it's always gonna, if you have a dream, if you have a goal, if you have a manifestation, it's gonna bring it to you, and hopefully fast within these energies. The more you focus on it, the faster it's gonna come in. But also staying open that your manifestation can come in a much different way than you expect. And this is a good thing, by the way, because sometimes it gets past some of the limits that we have set on how things should happen. I always use the example, and I'll go back to it. You really wanted some speedboat, but you couldn't afford it on your salary. Like you've been secretly, every time you see an ad or a television commercial and you see this boat, you're like, oh my God, I want it, okay? And your job, okay, right? You just didn't have, your wife or your husband's like, we don't have money for a boat right now. You're not getting the boat. Just drop the boat. But it's there. It's in the back of your mind. And, your boss kicks the bucket next week and he had a brand new boat he didn't even touch. Like he was always at work every day. You saw him there, right? And his wife gave you the boat. Okay, it can come through in many unexpected ways that can help you to get past some of the blocks and barriers that our mind loves to make up anyways. If you have a goal though, you have a vision, stay open that it can come to you in many unexpected ways. Sometimes people give you things or gift you things or can come in divine timing to help you with your manifestation as well too. Let's do Janet T. Connect to your higher self. Your higher self is concerned with the highest good and communicates through intuitive insights before taking action. Ask yourself whether you're listening to your smaller self or your higher self. Your smaller self might impulsively lead you down one path where your higher self has access to a better roadmap. And I love this because it's really just ego versus soul. And the ego, it's not noticeable. You probably have no thoughts going on in your head right now because you're a little distracted watching this video, and that's okay. But it will rear its head when things are not going good. You didn't get your way. Someone was rude to you. Like the examples, right? And it's like the ego comes out. It is there. It is. I don't want to call it your shadow self because it's a different component. We have these components in areas that we need to heal because unless we heal our ego, it will seize control of your life and you'll become a very ego-driven person. We know that's like these egomaniacs, right? Okay, like never enough and, never happy, never fulfilled. And, it can take you down these labyrinths. And we've all seen that when we were asleep, when the ego is in charge. Because for the 3D self, the ego is in charge. And we saw where that leads you. Now, thank God you have a spiritual awakening and your soul begins to slowly step in. And the reason being is because you get aligned with your soul. And the more that you align with your soul and let go of the ego, which loves to just ruin your goals, pump you full of fear. We talked about you were getting that boat last time. You're getting the boat. The ego's like, this is too good to be true. Don't take your boss's boat. It's not going to go that way. You needed to buy the boat or whatever. Okay. That's the ego in your head. You live with it. It's literally like something you got to get control of. So we need to, it's like get control of the lower self to ascend out of it to become the higher self. It's our only battle that we have. We always think it's like external evil forces and everyone outside of ourselves. It's literally all doing the inner work with it too. Now your higher self is not going to feed you fear, okay? It might be like, oh, I don't know about this. It's going to come through in a much softer, more intuitive way. We talked about when your ego goes into the spins, it's very loud in your head, right? Your higher self is always running the show though. Your soul is always running the show. In fact, many of the experiences in your life have been soul contracts. Some of those soul contracts are amazing, some of them not so great, to teach you about yourself and to help you empower yourself. I always remind you when you're walking through this place, you're literally walking through your own soulscape. Sometimes we don't realize that. You're literally exploring your own soul on a deeper level. And so even if we think we're having a challenging time or a tough lesson, this is something your soul wants you to experience for whatever reason. You probably need the lessons out of it. Now, as we begin to align more energetically on a higher frequency, we begin to really embody the soul and bring that through. When people are tired, drained, sick, and depleted, they're actually cut off from their soul energy, okay? The more that we can bring that soul energy back into, because it was there, but sometimes we get a little fragmented, back into the physical body, raise up into a higher frequency, we're going to feel so much better. We call this spiritual alignment. We're vibrating higher, we're feeling lighter, we're embodying that. You kind of start to look like it, or maybe look a little different too, the more that you bring through your higher self. Now, in order to do that, sometimes we have to clear all of those patterns your lower self came with, right? It's like all of the stuff holding you back. You know what that is, right? So sometimes it does require doing some work to shift out of or step out of that ego state or that lower self, because that's the only thing that are holding us back. Our patterns, problems, patterns, whatever it is, blocks, to really embody the higher self. This is a journey about becoming your higher self once again. And we have a lot of higher self energies with this water trine this weekend too. So pay attention to your intuition. It's always going to come from within, and it's always going to be guiding you to the best outcome. Let's do Sharon Nail. Take an action step. Act on intuitive guidance you've been receiving lately. Your intuition will then guide you to the next action step. Baby steps count. Being more proactive increases flow, moves stuck energy, and unlocks potential now. The universe operates on call and response. Call out with an action step for response, guidance, and avoid perfectionism. Now, I love this too, because I think you have to set everything into motion, like literally everything, to make things happen here. Like, so sometimes you have to put in the work, as I say. This is always my Aries energy. Welcome to the Aries full moon. Is there something you've been guided to do? Now, I find stuff usually has to happen in order. So if your spirit guides are trying to get you something, and I always make up fun examples like get that job, do this, take care of that. It's like your to-do list, right? Here in your life, like maybe you're needing to work on something. Generally, you're probably going to hear that in your head until you do it. Like you're going to pick up on it. Maybe you're focusing on it. You're worried. This is stress and worry. Sometimes can be a big tale of like what you're thinking about all day, right? So it's like, what are you focused on? What are you focused on next? Now, once again, we talked about getting rid of the fear and like maybe getting a clear plan or guidance. You're not going to get your entire life plan in one download. You would get too lost, too confused. It's always the next step forward, what to be doing next. Now, maybe you didn't get the job, so you're sitting there kind of stressed about just making up something, money. Maybe if you would have gone and got this job, you were destined to be working in a certain place so you can meet certain people and it would really, really level up your life or whatever it is. So we have to remember, we skipped the step, we didn't get the job, you didn't meet the person for the next chapter. Like everything happens in order. So sometimes we can get kind of stuck on a step, and it could be anything. It doesn't have to be that. It could be like take care of this or, do this. You're always getting the guidance of what to do. Sometimes we can get a little stuck because you're climbing a staircase. So if you're stuck on step 8, you're not going to make it to 12. You're going to have to go through order. And that's how our lessons are here on earth. We're having to go through them in order and kind of take care of things. Sometimes we might miss a step, right? Oh no. And this can become apparent. It was becoming apparent in my own life. Like you didn't do something back when you were guided to do 20 years ago. It's going to come up later as probably a problem because you didn't take care of it, right? And so we're being guided to, and we're learning how to, from this point moving forward, to really listen to our spiritual guidance and not to skip steps. Because if you skip a step, it might be a problem that comes up later, or, you didn't do this, and it's like things kind of come out of the pattern. It just kind of depends. Is there something that you're being guided to take care of during this time in your life? It could be something practical. It could be, something like learning a new skill, something you need to take care of. What are your spirit guides urging you to take care of? What's your next step on your path? Like the stairs, right? What's your next step pushing you towards or encouraging you to do? Let's do... Sarah asks, stay open, set sail, and surrender. You'll receive more intuitive guidance and more co-creative assistance from spirit if you surrender now. Stop paddling, put up your oars, and let the river take you. Stay open to unexpected bends in the river, guiding you to the perfect port. Don't strategize, just recognize divine direction. Master intuition by staying open-minded. So I love this because this is like, a lot of people are doing this of like trying to go back to the matrix. You've had a spiritual awakening and it's like you're trying to go back like this way, right? And it's like the river's taking you this way. You're on a journey of life, but we don't look at it like that. You're walking a path. You're on a river, right? And it's going to keep moving you forward. Sometimes we can get stuck on a certain lesson, looking back, not sure what direction to go, a little lost on our path. The universe is going to nudge you forward, right? But when we're out of alignment and we're trying to go down a path that isn't for us, this could be like some doors closed in your life recently and you're still knocking on them or banging on them and you're not letting it go. Back to the attachment, right? Wanting things to look a certain way, but not understanding you're just not yet to get there. You got to keep moving forward to get the outcome you want. Or, just kind of, we'll say, allowing your ego to still guide you. This is like letting go of the ego and surrender card, and you're going to have such an easier time. So this is kind of navigating that 5D reality that we've all shifted into, whether the planet realizes that or not. Right? This planet is vibrating a lot higher. We can see a lot of stuff that shows us this. We have a lot of energy coming in. Things are just getting a little bit lighter in our lives. So we're having to navigate things different. We were able to, for 5,000 years on planet Earth, really go into the matrix, everyone, and really do life that way. But But as the frequency is changing, it's requiring us to evolve and change how we're doing things and to try new ways, okay? Or to get back to the ancient ways. So this could be, maybe, needing to do a little bit of, once again, crown chakra work on developing your spiritual connection, work on trusting the universe and allowing it to guide you. So ego is thinking, it's micromanaging everything in your life, other people, situations. It's just so exhausting to live like that, like always trying to manipulate outcomes and think things will go this way. And it's the 3D state of it, right, with the ego, but it's exhausting. And so when we learn to just let go of like, okay, my life's not looking like I wanted, thank God, right? You got to do that in the 3D, and just surrendering and trusting the flow of the universe is trying to take you to a place much better, and to kind of just go with the flow with it. And this means that, accepting the lessons as you're moving through them, the lessons that will come and haven't come yet, and just kind of surrendering to this 5D flow, which is a lot more relaxing. You don't have to stress and worry so much, because I just have to take things a day at a time. I'm just going to focus on today. Right? I don't got to worry about some perceived next week if it even happens. Time starts to move a little differently, and you're like, okay, I'm just going to focus on what I got to do today or what I'm moving through. I don't have to sit and stress about 10 years from now, perceived things that probably won't happen. I mean, they could, but maybe not. And with all of this stuff, so our mind begins to shift, and we begin to navigate reality from a different place as we go through this work. But of course, sometimes we do have to face the ego at different stages of the journey. This is letting go of whatever it is you're being asked to let go of in your life. This could be people, attachments, situations, or even just things going on within yourself, to really shift into this 5D flow of energy and trusting it as it's steering you forward, and just kind of see where it's bringing you. This is you might be surprised in a good way of how things go and turn out. Okay, let's see. Jackie Q. Recognize signs and synchronicities. Some coincidences are random and others are full of meaning. If you dream of someone and then run into them by chance, read a slogan on a billboard that's like an answer to a prayer, or a friend recommends a book on a subject you've been privately pondering, consider it a sign. And I love that, because I was thinking about this. How else does the universe, which is pure energy, communicate with us, right? Through objects, things we're seeing, signs, angel numbers are a beautiful reminder of this, of how the universe works, and us beginning to wake up and recognize the signs and symbolism, and better yet, allowing the signs and symbolism to guide us. It's not random, it's synchronicity. And so this could be literally, wondering something in your head, and you hear it confirmation in a song, or you see something in a movie, and it's like it's speaking to you, or very familiar to a situation you were asking about, or this is how forces of the universe love to communicate with us. And I love this too, because it's like it could literally be just something like an advert or something you see in a magazine, or it could be something your friend says to you and they're channeling to you and don't realize it. A lot of times people channel and they don't even realize they are. They just feel guided to say something, right? Or put it in the conversation. And so sometimes you're getting divine guidance in many different ways, and you're going to notice an increase in this too as you're going through a spiritual awakening. Suddenly you're getting maybe the same angel numbers, maybe different ones, but you're getting reoccurring angel numbers, signs, synchronicity, confirmation, letting you know you're on the right track, or which path to be taking too. Maybe you're at a crossroads, I always say, and you don't know if you should take like a job or a move somewhere or a connection. You're going to get a lot of synchronicity around things that are in alignment with you, specifically to let you know. They're like little road map signs. I always say, you're not sure where you're going, you're kind of driving around lost. They're like little signs that appear to help us keep us on course and to give us messages too. So when you see signs and synchronicities, they have much deeper meaning that you can look into and kind of see what they mean. It could be as simple as having a dream about something, seeing an animal on your path, like literally like when you see some type of animal appear, or symbolism in many different ways. The universe is always getting these messages across to you. Okay, I'm going on that note, but have a beautiful rest of your weekend. If you do need me, awesome day to find me. You can always book me on my healing site, sparksofdivinelighthealing.com. Check out the stuff I have up for tomorrow's harvest moon. You guys can do any of that stuff anytime anyways. Have a beautiful rest of your weekend.